Hi, my name is Julia Flynn Werre, and I have a couple questions for you today. I was hoping that you might be able to answer these for me. If you're not an entrepreneur, this probably is not going to interest you. But if you've thought about being an entrepreneur or owning your own business, this might be kind of interesting to you. I'm actually, I think, a fourth generation entrepreneur on both my mom and my dad's side of the family. So I kind of grew up with the notion that I knew I would own my own business. I did start out in the work world working for someone else, but I quickly transitioned to being a straight commission salesperson and then opening my own business because that was just my dream and I loved it. But I have a couple questions and I wrote them down and I wanted to kind of bring them up. And I wanted to know what you thought was so great about owning your own business. What do you think is just so magical about owning your own business? I hear from people all the time that it's the time freedom, right? Like you don't have to go to work, come home, drive somewhere, be on someone else's schedule. That is truly amazing. I even had one job one time a long time ago, early in my career, where I was a straight commission salesperson, but they had some sort of a plan where you had to clock in and clock out, tell people where you were. That was not for me. That did not last long, right? That was not an ideal situation for me. I want to be in charge of my own time. I also want to be in charge of how much I can earn. I don't want any ceilings placed on my earnings. But when it comes to that, I also want to make sure that I'm getting the highest commission. Let me give you an example. I worked at a gym where we earned a percentage of a percentage of a percentage, and we had a cap on how many new members we could bring in any given month. So I was capped not only on how many sales I could make, but how much I could make from the sale. Then I worked for a furniture company where we got a flat percentage on absolutely everything we did. But it was kind of a low percentage, and they kept wanting to reduce that percentage lower and lower. So I've seen a lot of pitfalls. I've seen a lot of issues. Another issue that I really love about owning my own business is that I'm in charge of where I work and when I work. So I can work as many or as few hours as I want, but I can work wherever I want, from home, from my backyard, the beach, anywhere, coffee shop, whatever I want, vacation, anywhere. I can choose that. I can choose what I'm wearing. I don't necessarily have to drive anywhere. I've seen a huge cost savings because of that, but I don't really think about that because I'm just doing what I want to do where I want to do it. So that's kind of nice. I also can pick my own clients, which I absolutely say is crucial when you own your own business because you're choosing who you want to work with. If you don't like somebody, you don't have to work with them. That's a really big deal. That's amazing. But I do also want to bring up what's so great about starting your own business versus a franchise. So when you start your own business, it might be your own idea, but you're responsible for things like manufacturing and getting things done, scheduling and creating things and payroll or payments or insurances, things like that. You have to have everything in place and you have to figure that out. Along came the franchise, which was a great idea because everything is done the same. So think about how cool it is if you own a franchise, everything is already figured out for you. What's the problem with the franchise? Biggest problem with a franchise is that you're constantly paying royalties back to somebody else for their idea, number one. Number two, it's very costly to get into a franchise typically. So, what works like a franchise is your own business, but isn't as expensive. I know it's my favorite thing in the whole entire world. I almost don't want to even say it because I love it so much and I want you to guess. I want you to think of what this amazing thing is. It's network marketing. So you're doing network marketing because you know this is the best choice in the entire world. And then it dawns on you, are you actually getting paid the most you can get paid on a unique product? Are you selling something that's available at the grocery store, the dime store, or at the dollar store, not the dime store? Are you selling something that's unique, something that's special, something that can only be gotten from you, something that's cutting edge and new, something that all markets will want? I know. That's what I was looking for. I've sold lots of different things. So I wanted to find something that was appealing to young and old, men and women, kids, adults, animals, even. I wanted something that was really broad based, but I also like high tech. That is so important to me. But it had to be a really high payout. I really don't want to be working for like a 30% or 35% paid back to the field kind of payout, because I did that and I saw how things could trickle down and not work out so well. So I'm bringing these questions to you today because they're important to me. And the last question that I'll bring to you is this: do you want to be with the number one company, or do you want to be with number two or less? Think about it like this. If someone offered you a crab cake, I'm from Maryland, I don't eat them, but if somebody offered you a crab cake, would you want the number one best crab cake in all of Maryland? Or would you want number five, number 17, number 43, number 129? If you had the choice, would you want the number one crab cake, or would you want not so good? Now let's think about that. The recipe is better, more and better crab meat in the crab, fresher, original, delicious, all of those things. Well, that's how I look at the business world. That's how I'm looking at this. Kind of a weird analogy, I know, but a Maryland girl can't help it. So I was looking for the number one payout, number one product, number one compensation plan that I could find. Ask me about it. I'm really excited. Thanks so much, you guys. My name's Julia Flynn Werre. I'm so excited to be bringing this information to you, and I will see you again real soon.